You know, teams that have good pitching, really explosive offenses, teams that essentially I think are going to be competing for World Series potential. You know, and I know one big surprise in all of this season is the Colorado Rockies, but let's not forget it's a long season. One and two, Colorado plays in a very hitter-friendly park. The pitching hasn't been overly consistent over the years, so I don't know about them. I mean, I would say they're a contender. They're a good team. After a really nice start, but to me, I think what's gonna prevent them from being a legit contender is pitching, and pitchers do not want to pitch in Coors Field. They don't. So the Astros try to get the 12th straight win tonight, and hopefully, maybe they can get another ace in that rotation. Somebody that can eat innings, keep the bullpen fresh, and maybe they can get back end arm of the bullpen. Maybe a Calvin Herrera. I know he gave up a big hit last night, a 3-run blast off the bat of Yuli Gurriel, and he's given up a home run to Jake Marisnick. But for the most part, the guy is a solid. I mean, he's a really good setup man. He's built for the seventh inning, eighth inning. He's that kind of pitcher. He's not a closer. He's got the closer stuff, but I don't think he has that kind of closer lights out. I mean, he has lights out stuff, but there's a difference between pitching in the seventh and the eighth and having to close out a game in the ninth. There's a clear difference, and I just don't think that I just don't think he's a closer. So if the Astros need a back end of the arm, that back end of the bullpen type arm, maybe that's the guy that they can look at. Kansas City's not really contending, and they got a lot of good players. But it's baseball. You never know. You never know what can happen. There's a long way to go. Tomorrow night is Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Golden State is up 2-0. They're trying to put the Cleveland Cavaliers out of reach of winning this championship. I don't know what to say anymore. I mean, I watched First Take today, and Marcellus Wiley mentioned about Paul George going to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I am telling you, this cannot go on anymore. This super team crap has to end. I mean, it's ridiculous. LeBron James is the best player on the planet. The Cavaliers bench, I think, before this series, I felt was one of the best benches in the league, and they've just gone completely MIA. They're playing into the Warriors' hands. They're not slowing it down and pounding Golden State. Golden State is running up and down the court they play a playground style of basketball, essentially. And they've got Kevin Durant, who's like 7 foot tall with a huge wingspan, and he can shoot, he can take you off the dribble. He's actually a pretty solid defender. He's been a pretty solid defender in these finals. But Golden State is playing their pace, and it's entirely in their favor. And unless Cleveland could slow it down a little bit, to me, LeBron's greatness might not be enough to keep Cleveland alive for the championship. And I don't like LeBron saying it's just a game. I mean, if this were Kobe or MJ, those guys would be pissed. I just don't think LeBron is overly concerned with being down 2-0 in the series. He's called the Warriors a great team. I mean, they are a great team. But at the end of the day, the way LeBron's body language and the way he's talking in these press conferences, to me, it sounds like he's just like, oh, whatever. I've got no shot. I give up. It's not. That's one reason why I don't put him up there with MJ or Kobe. Kobe wanted to rip your throat out. And you knew he wanted. I mean, you knew Kobe and MJ had the same killer instinct. They had the same mindset. They were competitors. They would go at you. They wanted to take it at you. LeBron, I think he's a great player, but again, you're getting outclassed. You're getting blasted. I mean, this is the second year in a row. Cleveland got blasted in the first 2 games of last year's finals. Can history repeat itself? I think it can. Cleveland's got a better bench, but like I said, it comes down to pace and LeBron just turning it on. I know he had a triple-double last game. He's been amazing these entire playoffs. But he's going to have to do a little bit more. Him and Kyrie are going to have to do a little bit more. Kevin Love is going to have to do more. And their bench is going to have to show up if they're going to beat the Golden State Warriors. So, but again, I don't think LeBron is in the same class as MJ and Kobe. They're just different. LeBron is a load talent-wise. But mentality, I just think he's a lot softer than MJ and Kobe. I do. I think he's a lot nicer. I don't think he's as much of a... Like I said, Kobe and MJ wanted to rip your freaking throat out. And they didn't, it wasn't even about... And it brought out the best in everybody. And that's one thing the NBA really lacks, is competition. You're not seeing much competition because everybody's all buddy-buddy. Back in the 90s and the early 2000s, everybody wanted to beat each other. Kobe wanted to beat, Dirk and Duncan and Garnett. And now it's just like, well, he's my best friends. I'm going to team up with them. And super teams have existed in the NBA. But this is the third year in a row we've seen Cleveland and Golden State in the finals. It's time. If Cleveland, after the series is over, this has to be the last time that Cleveland and Golden State face each other in the finals. Somebody else has to have it. I'm not saying somebody else has to have a chance, but there has to be a third, fourth team that can compete and legitimately beat one of these two teams down the road. Not trying to sound like a whiner or a complainer, but this series is much like what I thought of it in the beginning. An overhyped series. And I read a report that said J.R. Smith said the Cavaliers can beat the 96 Bulls. No. If you can't beat this Golden State Warriors team, you cannot possibly, in any shape, way, form, or fashion, beat the 95-96 Bulls. Not going to happen. A little bit of NFL news. The Texans are in OTAs and mini camps. It's a bit of a break right now before training camp begins. Or training camp resumes, excuse me. Deshaun Watson has been pretty darn good. J.J. Watt's back healthy. Hopefully for the Texans. He stays healthy all year long. Next to Clowney. It's in the Clowney. It'd be nice to have one season where they're both healthy. They both show just a true dominant sides. Defensively, the Texans are dominant. They got a dominant pass rush. The weakest part of their defense is going to be their secondary. And of course, for the Texans, it's all about the quarterback. The quarterback. They got a run game. They got a defense. Next month, I will start my pre-NFL thoughts for the NFL season as we get closer to preseason. Can you believe we're almost at preseason? But yeah, for the Texans, it comes down to whether Deshaun Watson takes the reins and gets up to a great start in his career or not. It just comes down to the quarterback. The difference between the Texans and the Patriots is the quarterback position. And Deshaun Watson has a chance. Deshaun Watson has openly said he's chasing greatness. Chasing